Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Certainly. Buffer overflow vulnerabilities are a common issue in software development, especially in languages like C and C++ that do not automatically manage memory. Below, I will provide a tutorial on understanding and exploiting a simple buffer overflow vulnerability in a vulnerable C program, using Kali Linux 2016. I'll walk you through the setup and exploitation process. Prerequisites. 1. Kali Linux 2016, make sure you have it installed in a virtual machine or on your hardware. 2. GCC, GNU Compiler Collection, this is usually pre-installed on Kali Linux, but you can install it using. Overview of buffer overflow. A buffer overflow occurs when data exceeds the allocated buffer size in memory. This can overwrite adjacent memory, potentially leading to unpredictable behavior, including code execution. Step 1. Create a vulnerable program. Let's create a simple C program that is intentionally vulnerable to a buffer overflow. Step 2. Compile the program. To compile the program, use the GCC compiler with the following command. Flags explanation *. fno stack protector, disables stack protection, which is a security feature that prevents buffer overflows. Z-exec stack, marks the stack as executable, which is necessary for executing shell code. Step 3, analyze the vulnerable program. Run the program. When prompted, enter a long string of characters. You will notice that the program does not handle input length properly and may crash if you enter too many characters. This is the beginning of a buffer overflow. Step 4, craft an exploit. Now, we will attempt to exploit the vulnerability. The goal is to overwrite the return address of the vulnerable function to redirect execution to secret function. 1. Determine the offset. You need to know how many bytes to write to reach the return address. In this case, our buffer is 64 bytes, and we assume the return address is right after it, on most systems. 2. Payload creation. We will create a payload that consists of 64 bytes of junk data, to fill the buffer. The address of secret function. To find the address of secret function, use the following command. This will give you the address in hexadecimal, example 0x080484b6. You can use this address to construct your payload. Step 5, create the exploit script. Create a simple Python script to generate the exploit. Step 6, execute the exploit. Run the exploit script. Now, feed the payload into the vulnerable program. Step 7, observe the result. If successful, you should see the message "You've been hacked," printed to the console, indicating that you have successfully exploited the buffer overflow vulnerability. Conclusion. This tutorial has demonstrated how to create a simple vulnerable program, compile it, and exploit a buffer overflow vulnerability on Kali Linux 2016. Always remember to use this knowledge responsibly and only on systems you are authorized to test. Disclaimer. This tutorial is for educational purposes only. Buffer overflows can be a serious security risk, and exploitation should only be performed in a controlled environment where you have permission to test.